Good, Evan. How are you, bud?
Good. It's been a while since we got a chance to see you.
Yeah,
So
no doubt.
good seeing you. So I want to go back to before UCF. Obviously, when you guys had time to prepare for Peter, obviously it was a game time decision, but just kind of what was those conversations like, and how have they changed now with more time to prepare Peter now in case he might have to play if Seth is not ready to go?
Yeah, I think Peter brings a different skill set really than any of our other quarterbacks. He's got the ability to use his legs, athletic kid that can make some plays when he takes off and runs. So, we try to utilize those against Central Florida in different situations. I think moving forward, that's still going to be his strength. I think that's who he is, and so one of those guys when you call a pass and it might turn into a run. If the pocket breaks down, he can take off and go get a first down. So I think those are his strengths. I think he's really good at it. And it's something that we're going to try to continue to highlight moving forward.
So with what did you guys maybe take away from kind of what he could do well? And I know Ryan told us you guys want to kind of keep focusing on that, but what are some things you guys are maybe trying to maybe work as far as obviously not giving the game plan away, but just what are some advantages you saw that maybe you can bring into this game if he can go?
Well, again, I think it'd be a lot of those same things, us finding ways to let him use his athletic ability. I guess that would be my answer. I just think those are some of his strengths. I did think that he did a great job handling the pressure. Central Florida's got a great defensive front, and they applied a lot of pressure on the quarterback, but I thought he did a good job really managing the situation. Got to do a better job really just trusting his eyes and getting through his progressions. But all in all, I thought he played pretty well.
Thank you.
Frank.
And Kevin, I know against UCF, the running backs weren't necessarily used as much. Do you think that that was just because of the nature of how the defense was playing in the RPO, or do you think that going into this game, if it is Peter, you guys will use the running backs a little bit more?
I think that was just a little bit of the nature of how Central Florida was playing defense and defending us, and some of the things that we thought we could take advantage of. And honestly, it just kind of worked out like that. That certainly wasn't necessarily in the game plan to make it be a less focus on our running backs. I just think that's how it worked out.
Now with obviously with Hennigan, you guys weren't doing RPOs and everything. Throwing Peter in there and having the RPOs, does the rest of the offense kind of have to adjust between the running backs and the offensive line? How are they adjusting to the different types of play calling when you have to use Peter?
To be honest with you, I don't think it's that big of a difference. As far as what our base offense and our base installation with what we put in, I think our offense is able to adapt to whoever's playing quarterback. So no, to everyone else, I don't think it was a big deal.
And then specifically, going into SMU, what are you seeing out of their defense that you guys are kind of honing in on?
Well, I think they're really good. I think that they're big and physical. They're an older group. They've played a lot of football. They've done a great job bringing in some key transfers. I think that they're very well coached and disciplined. I think they play extremely hard. So for us, this will be a challenge. Up front, we're going to have to do a great job of establishing the line of scrimmage, getting our run game going, and then getting our receivers open off their press coverage. But I think it'll be a great challenge. They're a top 25 program, and they have been for a couple of years now. So we'll have our hands full.
Thank you, Kevin.
Back to Evan.
So Kevin, so with preparing for this game, is it easier to kind of have more time? Because I know Ryan mentioned obviously with a week to go was kind of preparing Seth or Peter, but with more time, has it been more easier just to prepare just in case of emergency, just with that extra week to study a little bit?
Boy, I think anytime that you get extra days to prepare for an opponent, right? I don't know if the word's easier, but I think that we for sure should have a plan, and we've had a chance to watch a lot of film, dissect a lot of things. So hopefully we can use that to our advantage, but we feel like we have a good plan moving forward.
And then kind of going into kind of, the whole quarterback situation, we heard some things from Ryan saying about how Jeremiah Oatsful and Hunter Halsey are ready. But I guess at this point, just kind of what are you seeing from them? Obviously, Jeremiah was a receiver, but he did play quarterback before. So if emergency needs to happen, how ready are those guys to kind of come in and just stay ready?
I feel good about them both. I feel really good about Hunter Halsey. I think that he's been with me since the get-go in August. He knows our offense, can execute it. He's an intelligent kid, probably just lacks the game experience. The other gentleman, Jeremiah Oatsfall, I think is a lot like Peter, athletic kid that can make plays with his feet. So in my mind, Oatsfall and Peter sort of bring the same skill set. Hunter's a little bit of guy that can do a little bit of everything, probably a little bit more like Seth than he is like Peter.
And then with Jeremiah, obviously kind of how obviously he was a former quarterback, but for somebody who was in that receiver room, how was it transitioning into the quarterback room just within this short time?
So yeah, it's the challenge, you know, and I think every day he's working to pick things up. I would say that he understands the base overall concepts of what we're doing, but now necessarily the quarterback footwork and the quarterback reads and some of those specific details that are critical is what he's had to learn, right? So we've tried to accelerate him as best we can. He's a smart kid that handles things really well. And to be honest with you, when the ball snapped, he has some great intangibles like Seth does in that he just can make plays. You know, he sees the game really well. He's got a good feel for it. So I feel good about his moxie and his game experience if he has to go out there.
Thank you.
And Kevin, I wanted to ask, what did you think about how Peter handled, you know, him being thrown in there at quarterback, you know, handling, like leading the offense, commanding, you know, in the huddle? How did he handle that part of just being the team leader?
Yeah, you know, I thought he did really well. It's hard, you know, when you play quarterback, there's a lot going on, and the bullets are flying. And like I said, Central Florida was getting after getting their D line up the field pretty good, so he had a lot going on. But I thought he did a great job keeping his composure. He was really good on the sidelines. He knew what was going on the field, right? Like, you know, he saw it really well. So, you know, I don't know if I'm ready to say that he was ready to stand up and lead the team, but I do think that he handled the situation and handled himself very well.
And then do you think having this extra week, does that help him even be more comfortable being in that quarterback role?
Boy, without question. You know, I think that was his first game experience really in a couple of years. And so now to get that one under your belt, I think moving forward, there's going to be a level of confidence that you'd like to see would increase.